Alright, let's look at this. One puzzle book costs $17. How much does it cost to buy 2 books, and then 3 books, and then 4 books? Well, we're going to make a table. You can see we've started one there. When you add 1 to the number of books, you add $17 to the cost. Alright, so that would be the first part of the chart. If I have 2 books, I have $34. Now how did I get that? Well, I got it by going $17 is the cost of each book. I multiplied by 2 to get 34. Alright. If I have 3 books, 3 times 17 is 51. And if I have 4 books, 4 times 17 is 68. So, we kind of have a pattern here, right? We're going up by 1 each time for the number of books, and we're going up by 17 each time for the cost of the books. And if you take a look over here, it's saying that these numbers are multiples of 17. Well, that makes sense, right? 1 times 17 is 17. 2 times 17 is 34, and so on. So, if I use this pattern, how could I predict the cost of 20 books? Well, unless you're really good at mental math, I don't know about the prediction, but I know that I could easily do the math, right? So, I could add, so if I could go down here, I could start at 17, and then just add 17 each time. And I could use the 17 plus 17, and then 17, add 17 again, and so on and so on. But I think a faster way is to do multiplication. Okay? So the pattern that I prefer is multiplication because it's just a lot faster than adding. Alright, so to predict the cost of 20 books, I'm going to multiply 20 times 17. And if I do that, I get 340. You could use a calculator, or you could just use pretty simple multiplication. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Start my second row with a 0. 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 2 is 2. And you add them together. 0, 4, 3. 340. Now that's probably just as fast as you trying to fumble around with your calculator. And it's a lot better for your brain. So, I don't think you need a calculator for that. Suppose you have $200. Can you buy puzzle books and have no money left over? Well, we would have to do a little bit of more math, right? So, if 20 times 17 is 340, then I know half of that, 10 books, would be 170, right? 10 books would be 17 times 10, and that's 170. So, if I took my pattern and went 10 is 170, and then I thought, well, what about 11? Well, that's 17 more dollars, so that's 187. 12 is 187 plus 17. Is that going to be more than 200? Yes, it is. It's going to be, if we add, I'm going to do it right here, 17, add it together. 7 and 7 is 14, carry the 1. You got 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry that 1, you got 204. So, 12 books is 204. So basically, you know that you're never going to, equal 200. It just doesn't fit in our pattern. Okay, so we know that 200 isn't in our pattern, so if you try and spend 200, you're going to come up with a few dollars left over. So you could buy 11 books for 187, and you'd have, what, $13 left over. Not enough to buy a book. And there's just a little note down here. When one number follows another number, we call them consecutive numbers.